Our top focus at 8 a.m. is the appointment of new Pakistani Army chief. Amidst all the tension between India and Pakistan, a new chief has been chosen for the Pakistani Army as General Raheel Sharif retires. But will the new chief of staff herald better relations with India, or will he follow the old policies? Only time will tell. So India is keenly watching on the appointment of new Pakistani Army chief Qamar, Lieutenant General Qamar Bajwa, who's been chosen by Nawaz Sharif for this term, this when Raheel Sharif retires. After Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's announcement to appoint General Qamar Bajwa, India's former Army Chief General Retired Bikram Singh spoke exclusively to India today. Lieutenant General Bajwa has served with the United Nations mission in Congo as a brigade commander alongside former Indian Army Chief General Bikram Singh, who was also there as a division commander. Let's listen in.
Well, I've served with General Bajwa. He was one of my brigade commanders in the multinational division in Eastern Congo that I commanded from 2007-2008. And, the mission that time was called MONUC. Now, of course, it's been changed. The acronym is MONUSCO now. But of the two major components of my combat power of my force, I would say United Nations force that I had in Eastern Division, was the Indian Brigade, which was in North Kivu, and I had the Pakistani Brigade in South Kivu. And at that point of time, he was commanding the South Kivu Brigade. And in the international environment, I must qualify, what I saw him was that his performance was professional, outstanding. He was I would say, a brigadier at that point of time with a very positive attitude. He's commanded FCNA. He knows the area right from there, and thereafter having been the Corps Commander of 10 Corps. He knows the entire area, starting from up north, opposite Siachen, coming down right up to Chenab River. So he understands the nuances of the Kashmir problem. He understands how J&K has been handled in the past. But as you brought out earlier, he has gone on record having said that what bothers Pakistan more is the internal security dimension vis-a-vis India. So in that context, you cannot rule out the possibility, but I think he would be more focused towards looking after the operations which are going on at the moment towards Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan on the western borders. He would continue with what has been happening. I do not see any scaling down of what's happening on the line of control. In any case, it should be remembered that line of control is something which is the tactical arena, being handled by the tactical commanders, going at best up to the co-commander. So therefore, every time trying to associate, what the national polity or the topmost leadership of Pakistan military is thinking about doing on the line of control, I think would be slightly misplaced.
All right, I'm joined by India Today's executive editor Gaurav Sawant. Gaurav, former Indian Army chief is saying that General Bajwa is a very positive person. What do you have to say? How should India read into this development? Will Indo-Pak developments, relationship improve in the coming time?
I've been interacting with a number of experts, both in India and in Pakistan, and also some in the United States. And all of them are of the opinion that in the near future, there will be no improvement along the line of control. The situation will remain the same. However, in the long run, it remains to be seen whether Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is able to assert himself. Archana, what's extremely interesting is the fact that the impression being given out by Pakistan is that General Qamar Bajwa is Nawaz Sharif's choice, and that shows strengthening of democracy in Pakistan. But that's the impression that is being given at this stage. Whether that's actually true remains to be seen. Point one. Point two, General Qamar Bajwa, according to some analysts, has been appointed as the army chief only because he's one officer who knows line of control deployment very well. He was force commander northern area, so he knows the Siachen Glacier very well. He was GOC 10 Corps, he was Corps Commander 10 Corps and Chief of Staff 10 Corps, which goes on to show that he knows the entire line of control deployment extremely well. So the fact that the Pakistan Army has appointed someone who knows the LC better than the AFPAC border, the Afghan-Pakistan border, where the real problem is, goes on to indicate that Pakistan Army's deployment will remain India-centric. What is also very crucial, Archana, is to hear what General Shankar Roy Chaudhary, former Army Chief, told me on the broadcast late last night. He insisted that Pakistan Army has one policy, and that is Bangladesh ka badla. India split Pakistan into two. A new country, Bangladesh, was born, and since 1971, all that Pakistan wants is to avenge Bangladesh, and whoever is the army chief, it will remain hostile. But there is also a caveat I may want to add here, and that is because India carried out a surgical strike, because India has carried out punitive fire assaults at the line of control, and also because there's a new administration in the United States of America with Donald Trump taking over on the 20th of January, who's seen as someone who is not going to be very friendly with Pakistan at face value. Pakistan will perhaps remain restrained initially. But given India's new stance at the line of control, this will be a very, very interesting situation in the coming weeks and months.
All right, I'm also joined by Kaswar Klasra from Islamabad. Kaswar, what are the experts saying in Pakistan with this new army chief's appointment? What is the general consensus in Islamabad?
Well, definitely, it's really important question. What I can tell you from Islamabad is that experts and the people here in Pakistan are expecting that the new army chief will definitely pursue and continue the legacy of outgoing General Raheel Sharif. That is really important. And other thing that is a major impression in Pakistan is that General Qamar Bajwa, as he has been very much close to, the Sharif family and then also close to the army rank as well. What is being expected of him is that he will maintain a balance between the civilian and, the military establishment. That is the major impression in Pakistan. First thing is he will continue the legacy of outgoing General Raheel Sharif, and on the other hand, definitely, as you are well aware, that he enjoys very close relationship with the Sharif family and other civilian, the leadership as well. So definitely, it's being expected in Pakistan that he will maintain a good balance and definitely prove a very good general for the democracy in Pakistan. And on the other hand, definitely maintain a balance between civilian and the military establishment. That's what's being expected in Pakistan.
All right, Kaswar, stay on with us. We would like to tell our viewers how Qamar Bajwa was appointed in the first place. Lieutenant General Qamar Bajwa is all set to become the next commander of the Pakistani Army Chief. On November 29th, Lieutenant General Bajwa will take over the reins from General Raheel Sharif. According to Pakistan media, Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's reason to appoint Lieutenant General Bajwa goes back to 2014. It was the time when the TTP chief Imran Khan had led a 4-month sit-in protest in Islamabad. And it was Bajwa who took a pro-democracy decision and prevented the army coup back then. Bajwa was the commander of the 10 Rawalpindi Corps, which means he has got a great deal of experience along the Indo-Pak border. Bajwa was also the chief of the 111 Infantry Brigade, which was responsible for the security of Pakistan premiers. But Bajwa stood firmly against the military coup attempt. Gaurav, if I may come to you first. In the recent past, we have seen extremely high escalation of tension along the border. There's been increase in ceasefire violations, Pakistan-sponsored terror attacks, and everybody was saying that it was Raheel Sharif who was looking at an extension. But with this move, with this new appointment, like you said, that people are saying that this policy will continue. How is India getting prepared for this?
So India is very clear, whoever is the army chief in Pakistan, India will not fire the first bullet at the line of control, but will ensure, and this is now a defined policy which has been enunciated as such by the political leadership of the country. In fact, just yesterday, Manohar Parrikar, the defense minister in Panaji, made a statement where he said that in case they fire one bullet, we fire two. He also said that now we have the capabilities to gouge, and this is of course a statement made in Marathi, which has been in Konkani, which has been translated to say that we will gouge out the eyes of our enemies and give it to them in their hands. We have those capabilities. So we've seen a very, very aggressive India at the line of control. Awais Lighari is a member of Pakistan's National Assembly, also the PMLN chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee. He has said that in recent Indian operations along the line of control, there have been 50 plus casualties. Of course, he hasn't specified whether these are 50 plus military casualties or 50 plus military and civilian casualties. But the fact remains, and according to Indian assessment, the casualties are much higher on the Pakistani side. Pakistan is hiding most of their military casualties. India has adopted a very aggressive line to ensure that India takes punitive action every time Pakistan violates ceasefire or mutilates bodies of our soldiers. We will punish Pakistan. This is India's stance. So this is something that Qamar Bajwa will have to keep in mind, because when he was corps commander, this wasn't the stance, and he was in northern areas, this wasn't the stance. This is, the surgical strike and the punitive fire assault is something he will have to factor in.
All right. Kaswar is still with us from Islamabad. Kaswar, could you please elaborate on the main reason why Nawaz Sharif picked Lieutenant General Qamar Bajwa? And of course, we know that he has this expertise in border areas. But besides that, could you please tell us the other reasons why Lieutenant General Bajwa was picked up by Nawaz Sharif?
Well, definitely, it's really important question. The answer is what we don't know really what happened, what made Nawaz Sharif to appoint Lieutenant General Qamar Bajwa as a new Pakistan's army chief. But definitely what we are getting from our sources within the military and the civilian government, the first thing is he has been very much supportive to the civilian government since the Nawaz Sharif government came into being in Pakistan. The first thing. Another thing, as you already told the viewers, that it was Lieutenant General Qamar Bajwa and his close association with the outgoing army chief Raheel Sharif that prevented the army coup in Pakistan as well. At numerous the occasions in Pakistan, there were strong chances of the military going to Pakistan, but definitely it was the close relationship between Qamar Bajwa and the outgoing army chief Raheel Sharif, and then their coordination with the civilian government. That might be a plus point which might have made Nawaz Sharif to appoint Lieutenant General Qamar Bajwa as a new army chief. But definitely it has been a norm in Pakistan as well that the army chief, suggest the Prime Minister of Pakistan to pick up one or two of the generals to be appointed as the Pakistan's army chief. Definitely this time it was General Raheel Sharif who suggested Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to appoint the Lieutenant General Qamar Bajwa as the Pakistan's armed forces new chief. So definitely this is what I'm getting from my sources, that actually it was the outgoing General Raheel Sharif, Pakistan's Armed Forces Chief, outgoing General Raheel Sharif, who suggested Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to appoint him, because he, as Gaurav Samant told us, that not only he enjoys a very close relationship with outgoing General Raheel Sharif, but also enjoys a great relationship with the civilian leadership, as especially the Sharif's family. So definitely it might be one of the reasons that he has been appointed the chief of Pakistan Armed Forces. On the other,
all right, Kaswar. Lieutenant General Qamar Bajwa's elevation to the post of chief of Pakistan Army has sparked much speculation about what his policy will be towards India. As soon as he was appointed, the Pakistan government made it clear that its hostile policy towards India would likely to continue. Speaking to Pakistani channels, Pakistan Defence Minister Khwaja Asif said that the new Chief of Staff would carry forward the mission of his predecessor against enemies across the border, while obviously alluding to India.
दुआ गो अल्लाह ताला इन फैसलों को जी मैं दुआ गो अल्लाह ताला इन फैसलों को बरकत डाले इन फैसलों में, और ये मुल्क कौम के लिए बेहतर फैसले हों, अच्छे फैसले हों। और जो नई क़यादत है जनरल जुबैर की और जनरल बाजवा की, ये हमारी जो दफाई अफवाज हैं उनका जो मिशन इस वक्त जारी है जनरल हील के वक्त का, उस मिशन को आगे बढ़ाएं, उसको और मजबूती के साथ जो है मुकाबला दहशतगर्दी का और जो हमारे सरहद के उस पार दुश्मन बैठे हुए हैं उनका मजबूती के साथ मुकाबला किया जा सके। इंशाल्लाह ताला जो बेहतरीन सोल्जर्स जो हैं उनमें से ये 2 नाम जो है पिक किए गए हैं, तो ये इंशाल्लाह ताला खुशाइंद हो।
Well, you heard the Pakistan's defense minister, but the reaction from Pakistani media is also more or less the same, with calls already being made to retaliate to what is being called provocation by India. An opinion piece in Pakistan's leading newspaper, The Dawn, claimed that the first thing on the new army chief's agenda should be to figure out a response to India by calculating which country can least afford military escalation. The article went on to claim that India is in a precarious position as military escalation would threaten its claims of being an investment haven. The view of military experts in India has been to remain careful of Lieutenant General Bajwa and not expect any changes in Pakistani Army's policies towards India.
Strategic in Pakistan is driven entirely by the Pakistan Army. How are we giving the space to Nawaz Sharif that it is he who has actually selected this army chief and that it is under his directions that this army chief is going to work? Sorry, I do not agree with it. To his homeland, it is his perception, the Pakistani strategic perception of Pakistan's national interest, which is going to dictate this entire thing. And the army of Pakistan from if you remember the time when General Zia came to power, has had only one thing in mind, and that is the retribution it has to carry out against India.
Is that a step towards Badla for Bangladesh to keep that philosophy of operations against India going? Wait and watch, time will tell. It is still too early to make a definite comment, but I think we would be very unwise to expect any kind of a rapprochement with Pakistan as long as the army is in charge.
India Today's executive editor Gaurav Sawant is still with us. Gaurav, it's interesting to note that shortly after the appointment, the tone and tenor of Pakistan's defense minister is still the same. We heard Khwaja Asif say that, the policy will remain what the predecessors had. More or less, nothing has changed in Pakistan's stand.
Archana, if you look at the situation in the longer run, and if you look at the bigger perspective, since 1947 till date, Pakistan has had one policy, and that is hostility towards India. In 1947, we got independence in August, and in October, they sent in raiders in Jammu and Kashmir. They continue to do that in 2016, where they sent in terrorists into Jammu and Kashmir. After Pakistan lost every war to India, whether it's 47, 65, 71, Siachen or Kargil, Pakistan is resorting to terror, and that is what General Shankar Roy Chaudhary was also pointing out, that because they've lost war, they want Badla for Bangladesh, they want Badla for Siachen, they want Badla for Kargil. So terror is a low-cost option, except that India has now started imposing costs on Pakistan. This punitive strike and that article in Dawn you were talking about, or the discussion in Pakistan's National Assembly, Archana, that has entirely been about how should Pakistan respond to India's provocation. Because in the past, India hasn't hit back like this. India hasn't carried out, surgical strikes in the past. Of course, in 2003, India did punish Pakistan along the line of control, and that was so bad that Pakistan then asked for peace, which is again happening in 2016. But Pakistan looks at it as an aberration before elections in Punjab and Uttar Pradesh. What they don't realize, or what they will realize gradually, is that this is the new normal with India. If Pakistan kills our people, you heard the defense minister, he's made it very clear, we will gouge their eyes out, the defense minister said. So this new aggression is something that Pakistan hasn't calibrated, and it's not just attacking India, but also Indian interests in Afghanistan, where India and Afghanistan together then will counter Pakistan-sponsored terror.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Gaurav Sawant, for that update, and Kaswar Klasra from Islamabad on the latest on Pakistan Army Chief's appointment. On November 29th, a new Pakistan Army Chief will take over the reins from General Raheel Sharif. Lieutenant General Qamar Bajwa is all set to become the next commander of the Pakistan Army Staff. So who is Qamar Javed Bajwa and what are his credentials? Watch this detailed report.
Lieutenant General Qamar Javed Bajwa is the new commander of the Pakistan Army. Bajwa will take over the reins from an aggressive Raheel Sharif, and he comes in at a time when the Pakistan establishment is facing a number of hurdles. But have no doubts, Lieutenant General Qamar Bajwa has the credentials and the experience to tackle challenges as someone who spent years in the Pakistan Army. Lieutenant General Bajwa is currently the Inspector General of Training and Evaluation at the General Headquarters, the same post that Raheel Sharif held before he was elevated to Army Chief. Bajwa also has spent a sizable amount of time as commander of the 10 Rawalpindi Corps, which means he's got a great deal of experience along the Indo-Pak border. He's a decorated army man, having also served as a brigade major and commanded the infantry unit. As far as comparisons between Raheel Sharif and his successor goes, nobody's expecting a great deal to change as far as army tactics are concerned. But Lieutenant General Bajwa has been rather vocal in his opinion on eliminating terror in Pakistan. Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, we are leading the 9 a.m. bulletin with the new Pak Army Chief's appointment. Amidst all the tension between India and Pakistan, a new chief has been chosen for the Pakistan Army as General Raheel Sharif retires on November 29th. But will the new Chief of Army Staff herald better relations with India, or will he follow the policies of his predecessors? Only time will tell.
As the boundary between India and Pakistan remains tense, the man responsible for much of the bloodshed is retiring. After a huge build-up of suspense, the next army chief has finally been announced. Lieutenant General Qamar Javed Bajwa will be succeeding General Raheel Sharif. The next Chief of Army Staff met the Pakistani Prime Minister soon after the announcement. A former commander of Corps 10, the biggest and possibly the most important corps in Pakistani forces, Bajwa is considered to be an expert on Kashmir. But as Bajwa takes over during a tense time, will there be a policy shift in Pakistani army towards India?
Strategic outlook will be driven by the national interest of Pakistan.
Others, however, are more hopeful.
One thing which stands out that he's Nawaz Sharif's man, he's Nawaz Sharif's pick, and Nawaz Sharif is inclined to improve relations with India. If that be so, maybe in the mid-term and the long term, things may turn out to be better than what it is today.
But voices from within Pakistan paint a grim picture.
ऐसे तो नहीं हो सकता कि नया जर्नल आ गया तो कोई पॉलिसियां खत्म हो जाएंगी. जो मुल्क के दुश्मन हैं उनके खिलाफ एक्शन उसी तरह जारी रहेगा.
The Indian government is yet to react to the development, but it will be monitoring the situation very closely. From now, it's a wait-and-watch game to see whether the new Pakistani army chief will realize the futility of hostile engagement with India, or whether he'll follow in the footsteps of his predecessor. Bureau Report, India Today.
So let's tell you why Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif chose Qamar Bajwa as the next army chief, and the reason goes back to 2014. 2 years ago, during a massive protest in Islamabad led by PTI chief Imran Khan, Bajwa foiled a military coup bid and chose to uphold democracy. The incident holds great significance for Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who had earlier been deposed by a military dictator. Bajwa was also the commander of the extremely important 10 Rawalpindi Corps, allowing him to gather a considerable amount of experience and knowledge regarding Kashmir. Bajwa was also the chief of the 111 Infantry Brigade, which was responsible for the security of Pakistan premiers. So this appointment remains key for Indo-Pak relations and its future. Remember, experts are divided. There is a section which is saying that his appointment will more or less remain the same. The situation between India and Pakistan will more or less remain the same because he is likely to follow Raheel Sharif's policies. I'm joined by Kaswar Klasra from Islamabad. Kaswar, could you please tell us how are the experts reading into this appointment as far as Indo-Pak relations are concerned?
Well, one point is really important. That is, his appointment is not India specific. Definitely, the Pakistan armed forces have launched an offensive operation against, the homegrown militants inside Pakistan since 3 years back. Definitely, it's a big challenge for the new army chief. Also, you are well aware about the what's going on there on the western border as well. Definitely, the new army chief will be keeping in mind how to take forward the legacy of General Raheel Sharif. At one hand, the Pakistan armed forces are Hello?
Yeah, Kaswar, can you hear me?
Hello?
I think we have some technical problem. We'll try and fix that audio link with Kaswar Klasra in Islamabad. Let's now go to our executive editor, Gaurav Sawant. Gaurav, how should India see this development? Remember, half of Pakistan's existence has been ruled by its military, and it's extremely important stakeholder as far as Pakistan's policy is concerned. So how should India read into Bajwa's appointment as the Pakistan Army Chief?
Well, analysts I've been speaking to, Archana, clearly say that there will be more of the same. If India expects that a change in Pakistan Army Chief will improve relations between India and Pakistan, that is clearly not going to happen. Javed Bajwa has been chosen as the next Army Chief in Pakistan because of his extensive knowledge and deployment along the line of control as Chief of Staff 10 Corps, as Corps Commander 10 Corps, and also earlier as Force Commander Northern Areas that oversees, areas of Gilgit Chitral on the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir side and Siachen Leh on the Indian side. So he's being made the army chief because he understands the dynamics of the line of control, the international border, and the actual ground position line at Siachen intensely. That seems to indicate that Pakistan will try and continue the same policy. General Raheel Sharif's policies will continue. Will there be a change? If at all, there are two situations which are extremely crucial at this stage, Archana. One, India's surgical strike in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and India's punitive fire assaults that had been carried out, and also the fact that there's a new American administration. Donald Trump will take over as the American president on the 20th of January. Pakistan is extremely cagey when it comes to US-Pak relations. So we will perhaps see, the LC remaining, the line of control remaining a little tense, but the overall scheme of things, initially we may see some dip. But gradually, from 1947 to 2016, it's been one policy that Pakistan has followed, unlikely to change with the change of army chief.
All right, Gaurav and Kaswar, please stay on with us. We'll give more details to our viewers about what are the reactions coming in on this story after General Qamar Bajwa's elevation to the post of Chief of Pakistani Army has sparked much speculation about what his policy will be towards India. As soon as he was appointed, the Pakistani government made it clear that its hostile policy towards India would continue. Speaking to a Pakistani channel, Defence Minister Khwaja Asif said that the new Chief of Staff would carry forward the mission of his predecessor against enemies across the border.
जी मैं दुआ गो कि अल्लाह ताला इन फैसलों को बरकत डाले इन फैसलों में और ये मुल्क कौम के लिए बेहतर फैसले हों, अच्छे फैसले हों। और जो नई क़यादत है जनरल जुबैर की और जनरल बाजवा की, ये हमारी जो दफाई अफवाज हैं उनका जो मिशन इस वक्त जारी है जनरल हील के वक्त का, उस मिशन को आगे बढ़ाएं, उसको और मजबूती के साथ इंशाअल्लाह ताला जो बेहतरीन सोल्जर्स जो हैं उनमें से ये दो नाम जो है पिक किए गए हैं।
All right, let's first go to Islamabad, where Kaswar Klasra was giving us the information on the challenges that the new Pakistan Army Chief has as far as Indo-Pak relations are concerned. can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So, Kasur, my question to you was that in our previous conversation, you were elaborating on the challenges that General Bajwa faces as the new Pak Army Chief vis-a-vis Indo-Pak relations and the situation across the Afghan border.
Well, when we talk about the challenges that wait the new Pakistan's army chief, definitely 3 points are really important. As I told you earlier, first of all, the tension across line of control. Definitely, as Defense Minister Khaja Asif said last night, that definitely Pakistan's armed forces and the Pakistan civilian leadership is on the same page when it comes to the Pakistan Indo-Pak, the tension. Definitely Pakistan army will adopt tit-for-tat reaction when it comes to, the relationship between India and today. Definitely on the other side,
Okay. All right. We will get back to Kaswar shortly. The reaction from Pakistani media has also been similar to what the Pakistan's defense minister was saying. Now, calls are already being made to retaliate to what is being called provocation by India. An opinion piece in Pakistan's leading daily, The Dawn, claimed that the first thing on the new army chief's agenda should be to figure out a response to India by calculating which country can least afford military escalation. The article went on to claim that India is in a precarious position as military escalation would threaten its claims of being an investment haven. The view of military experts in India has been to remain careful of Lieutenant General Bajwa and not expect any changes in Pakistan's army policy towards India.
Strategic in Pakistan is driven entirely by the Pakistan army. How are we giving the space to Nawaz Sharif that it is he who has actually selected this army chief and that it is under his directions that this army chief is going to work? Sorry, I do not agree with it. To his homeland, it is his perception, the Pakistani strategic perception of Pakistan's national interest, which is going to dictate this entire thing. And the army of Pakistan from if you remember the time when General Zia came to power, has had only one thing in mind, and that is the retribution it has to carry out against India.
It must be remembered that when you are operating under the United Nations umbrella, you are working towards an international cause, and that is the international peace. Professional, totally marked by, I would say, very high levels of commitment. And when you look at these people, what happens is the moment we get back, while we engage ourselves with tremendous amount of bonhomie when we are abroad under the United Nations, the moment we get back to our countries, we are governed by the national interest.
Is that a step toward Badla for Bangladesh to keep that philosophy of operations against India going? Wait and watch. Time will tell. It is still too early to make a definite comment, but I think we would be very unwise to expect any kind of a rapprochement with Pakistan as long as the army is in charge.
Gaurav, the experts are clear. They are saying that Raheel Sharif and Bajwa are cut from the same cloth, so it won't make much of a difference. While there is also a section which is saying that he is an experienced army veteran, he has a lot of knowledge about Kashmir. So what are your sources telling you in the army? What is the army? What is the strategy forward?
The strategy forward is very clear. Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar at a political rally, of course, election rally in Goa, made it extremely clear that India does not fire the first bullet, but in case Pakistan fires one bullet, India now retaliates with two. He also said India now has the capabilities to gouge out the enemy's eyes. Of course, he said this in Konkani, and this is the English translation of what he meant to say. And that means a very aggressive response. And Archana, all along the line of control, India has seen a very aggressive, punitive response when it came to Pakistan beheading one of our soldiers, Mandeep Singh initially, and then the second soldier, Prabhu Singh. India's response has been to launch punitive fire assaults that not only permanently completely destroyed some of Pakistani defenses and destroyed their posts, but also led to more casualties. In fact, Awais Lighari, who's a member of Pakistan's National Assembly, discussed this in Pakistan National Assembly, where he said more than 50 Pakistanis. He, of course, did not specify more civilians or more military personnel, but he said more than 50 Pakistanis have been killed in India's recent fire assaults and also the surgical strike. So when General Bajwa takes over as Pakistan's army chief, he will be the 16th army chief, and perhaps he will have to factor in not only the a hostile American administration, it's an equally hostile Indian military response at the line of control, and then he will have to decide. One thing is extremely clear: India is militarily far superior to Pakistan. India has done a lot of military purchases now. Pakistan is also concerned about the Americans now selling light howitzers to India. That will take time, but it also goes on to show how India's military preparedness is far better than Pakistan all along the line of control and the Siachen Glacier. It's terror that India needs to be very careful about, because Pakistan will activate the Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Hizbul Mujahideen, the terror factories in Pakistan to take on India. That's also the strategic arm.
All right, thank you so much, Gaurav Sawant and Kaswar Klasra, giving us the latest information on the new Pakistan's army chief.